Yo, check it out. This is too tough. Gonna briefly discuss the fights that happened yesterday. This is Sunday. The fights that happened Saturday. All right. First, in on ESPN, you had a Kubrat Pulev versus Radel Bukha fight. Kubrat Pulev is currently the IBF heavyweight mandatory challenger. He was fighting Radel Bukha. Radel Bukha was a guy that was promising prospect years ago. Then he had spent a stint in jail, and now he's back. He's had a few fights. This was an uninspiring performance by Kubrat Pulev. Also, Radel Bukha did not appear that he came to the fight to win the fight. He looked like he came to just go 10 rounds, and that's what he did. Kubrat Pulev, I don't think he's ready to challenge, really, to give a threat to any of the top five guys. Top five guys being Wilder Ruiz, Joshua Fury, and possibly Dylan White. You could even throw Usyk in there. I don't think I think Usyk will give him some issues. Anyway, so that was the co-feature, whatever, for the main event. The main event was the Marine Simplified. Jamel Herring defending his WBO super featherweight title against Lamont Roach. Now this was a fight. I mean, seeing Jamel Herring's progression from fight to fight, you can see he's getting a little bit better as each fight moves on. This one, he showed a little bit more boxing acumen than he did in his last fight, in my opinion. He tried to keep the fight at distance, worked behind his jab a lot. And that's how he was successful, by keeping the fight at distance and not letting Roach be able to really come in too much. But then as the fight went on, Roach was able to time him and duck some of those jabs and throw a few of his hooks in there. And he won a little bit of the middle round till Roach got his bearings back together, started fighting at a distance. But however, in the end of the 11th round, Roach caught him, I believe it was a right. Roach caught him good. Staggered Jamel Herring, but Jamel Herring held on, and he lasted the round. The 12th round, he came out and started fighting at a distance, basically fought safe. He didn't want to get caught with the same type of shot that caught him at the end of the 11th, so Jamel Herring started fighting safe. Anyway, so that was that. Jamel Herring won. After the fight, he did the usual call-outs. He wanted Canseo, who's the WBA champion at super featherweight. Miguel Berchelt fought last week. That made sense. Those guys at ESPN was talking about that one. He said whoever he wants to unify. So Miguel Berchelt is one. Canseo is another. Then of course you got Tevin Farmer over. I think he's still with the Zone. I'm not quite sure. And those are the guys that he could unify with. He also called out Carl Frampton. Carl Frampton was another name he dropped yesterday. And not for nothing, that would be an interesting fight. I would like to see that. That'll be a name on his resume. Now, over in the Staples Center, you had what many boxing diehards consider a farce of a match between Logan Paul and KSI, two YouTube guys fighting and getting a platform that many of these other boxers would just dream of having. They had two championship fights on the undercard of this fight. The first fight was Billy Joe Saunders versus Caceres. Billy Joe Saunders stopped Caceres in the 11th round of an unexciting fight. This was uninspiring. Billy Joe came into the fight hoping to impress the U.S. audience. However, with this performance, I'm not sure he achieved that goal. So he did the usual call-outs. Billy Joe did the usual call-outs. He called out Canelo. He called out Golovkin. He even said he's willing to fight Andrade. Andrade laughed. He sent some social media tweets. A few of the guys went back and forth on social media after Billy Joe's performance. But he did knock the guy out. Now, many of the people believe that Billy Joe had to do what he did because he might have ran the risk of having a draw or losing a fight. I don't think that was it. It's just, it just took him a little bit of time. He didn't want to mess around and lose, but he also knew he had to excite. Anyway, so that was that. Devin Haney was also on the card. Devin Haney, the guy that many people are comparing to a young Floyd Mayweather. He fought Santiago, defending his WBC lightweight title. He dropped Santiago, I believe it was the 5th round, and many people expected him to stop end it right there, but Santiago outlasted. He lasted to the final bell. Santiago didn't really want to get knocked out too, so he didn't lose any rounds. Haney, Santiago wasn't really doing too much, but he didn't knock him out. A lot of people was expecting that, with the hype behind Haney, they was expecting a whitewash of this guy. So, and he didn't do that. So a lot of people are, running around on social media saying he was exposed and he's overhyped and all of this. I just say, let's see what happens with his next fight. Is he ready for the Comeys, the Lopez's, the Lomachenkos, and even the Tank Davises of the world? Let's see. Then the main event, not going to take too much time on this one, KSI versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul, the American, KSI the Brit. KSI won. There was a little bit of controversy with some of the scoring with Jack Reese, but Jack Reese, the veteran ref, he looked like he took 2 points away from Logan Paul for a hit after KSI was knocked down. He acknowledged the knockdown, but then took 2 points away from Logan Paul. Instead of the 1 point where many people believe, even the veteran ref that was on the side commentating said that he wouldn't have took no more than 1 point for that round. Steve Spolgar, I believe it was.
So I'm just going to sum it up, man. It was an entertaining fight for what it's worth. 2 guys at about the same skill level, throwing haymakers, hoping one connects. Logan Paul caught him with a good uppercut. However, I will say that I think it was the 4th, maybe the 3rd round. KSI Logan Paul put him down, but the referee would have flipped. So to be fair, it would have been the same. Anyway, so that's that fight. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like, comment, and share. Keep tough, and I'm out.